Every single man is in debt. By the time a man reaches age 20, he has already spent 8 or so years completely flooded with hormones that are telling him to have sex with every woman that he sees. During puberty, what feels natural to him is to have lots of sex with lots of different women. But that does not describe the experience of adolescent boys. He might have the odd girlfriend here and there, maybe the occasional hookup, but on the whole, his experiences do not match his desires. What he wants is for his sexual accomplishments to be up here. That's what his biology dictates. But the reality, like I said at the beginning of the video, every man is in debt. What about the man who sacrifices his desire for sexual freedom and variety? Should this be appreciated, or is that just what's expected of him?
It's not what's expected, because it also comes down to human instinct and part of what we are as well, and that primal instinct. So I don't think it should be expected, but there should be a want that if you're with someone and you genuinely feel that way, you wouldn't want to be with anyone else, I don't think.
Now, I have a regular who I do Skype consultations with, and he's leading a very interesting lifestyle. He makes a lot of money, he does a lot of international travel, he's often up at all hours of the night, going to clubs, meeting women, often sleeping with them. Now, I don't mind talking about club atmospheres and how to pick up girls, but it's not my primary area of expertise, and it's not really the focus of this channel. The reason for that is because I don't believe that casual hookups, like one-night stands, actually lead to any meaningful happiness. Sure, if you have sex with some beautiful woman, that's not exactly an unpleasant experience. You're going to feel happy in the moment, but it's really just a spike. After the experience is finished and you sober up, then you're still alone. You had sex with this girl, but there was no depth, there was no emotional connection. I believe that the truest happiness comes from being a high-quality man with strong self-esteem and partnering with a high-quality woman, and you have a relationship of mutual love, admiration, and respect. Now, that lifestyle doesn't have the excitement or the spikes of pleasure that lots of one-night stands would provide, but there is a gradual increase of happiness slowly and steadily over an entire lifetime. So even though my vision for what makes men happy is quite different from the lifestyle that's being led by this guy that I have the Skype consultations with, I have never once tried to talk him out of his choices. I understand what's going on for him. He's trying to pay off his debt. In one of our recent sessions, we spoke about what he wants in the long term, and we are on the same page. Eventually, he wants a high-quality woman in a committed, monogamous relationship, somebody who he can have children with. But that begs the question, if that's what he wants in the long term, then why is he currently leading this party boy lifestyle? Why doesn't he just go and find that high-quality woman now and give up all these one-night stands? Well, it comes back to being in debt. You see, every teenage boy, and let's be honest, most adult men as well, have this really strong sexual energy, strong sexual desires. What men want more than anything is to have these sexual desires validated. They want women to match them, to participate. They want to be able to fulfill every sexual fantasy they've ever had. What happens to teenage boys after they've lived all these years of puberty with this huge backlog of sexual desires that remain unfulfilled, where they never got to express the innermost core of who they feel like they are, of what they want? Well, you get this feeling that you have accumulated debt. It's this sense that you have missed out on something and that you're left empty by all these unfulfilled desires, and you desperately, desperately want to fulfill them. Now, I maintain that in the long term, men would be happiest in a single monogamous sexual relationship with a high quality woman. The lifestyle of always chasing sexual variety and having superficial sexual encounters is not going to lead to happiness, and is certainly not going to attract you to high quality women. But when it comes to making that commitment of monogamy to just one woman, some guys are simply not ready for that. Even if they were to meet a beautiful, high-quality woman who really likes them, they get this feeling that they can't commit to her because they're just not ready. They haven't paid off enough of their debt. This fear of all of the things that they missed out on, all of these unfulfilled desires, all of these experiences that they never had, it plays again and again in their mind, and it actually sabotages their ability to commit. So what can they do? What options are available to them? They can always guilt themselves into being in a relationship, just heap on the shame and force themselves to do it. But in all likelihood, these desires are just going to bubble up in different ways. They're going to commit adultery. They're going to become addicted to porn. They're going to see prostitutes. They're going to go to strip clubs. The debt hasn't been paid off, and this leads to terrible circumstances. It's not good for anybody, man or woman, in that situation. So with the fellow that I do these consultations with, I'm not outright condoning his choices, saying, yes, I approve of this behavior, I approve of this lifestyle. But I'm definitely not condemning it either, because I understand the place that he's coming from. When speaking with him, it's clear that he spent years not feeling sexually desirable, not feeling like he had high social status, not even having a lot of money. All of that affected his social confidence. It prevented the growth of his self-esteem. Now that he is doing really well in life, he's very successful and he's a very desirable guy, he's having fun, he's making up for lost time, he's clearing his debt. He is proving to himself that he is someone who is capable of having fun and being attractive to women. At this point in his life, I really don't see any sense in him stopping that. He's having fun, he's enjoying himself. Go for it. I actually admire him for doing this, because even though I don't think it's the ultimate place that you want to end in life, it's just a stepping stone, at least he has the courage and the talent to be able to pull this off. There are many guys out there who would love to have his lifestyle, and if they criticize him, it's just because they're bitter and they're jealous because they can't pull it off. They settle into monogamy because realistically, it's the only choice that was available to them. This guy has proved to himself that if he wants variety, he can get it. If he eventually chooses monogamy, it will not be because he has to, it will be because he wants to. And guess what? This kind of lifestyle is already starting to bore him. You see, as time goes on and he has more success, less and less does he have this feeling like he needs to prove something to himself. His insecurity is fading, his self-esteem is growing, and he's noticing more and more that the quality of women that he's meeting while living this lifestyle is not very high. But all of the experiences that in his youth he wishes he had, he is having them. And that's a good thing. It's progress. And it's also good that he's now beginning to feel bored by it. There was a spiritual teacher back in the 70s, the kind of guy who was encouraging people to seek enlightenment, to seek spiritual awakening, and to give up the world. And he was extremely controversial. The reason is because when students used to come and sit with him and learn from him, he would send them away. He would say, no, you're not ready. You need to go back out into the world. You need to go have more sex. You need to go and do more drugs. You need to go gambling, indulge your desires. This wouldn't seem to be encouraging people on a spiritual path, but his belief was that you couldn't come to the path of enlightenment if you are still holding on to unfulfilled desires from the world. His perspective was that it was better that you go out there and actually do all that stuff until the point when you get bored of it. Then you're ready to meditate. He would say, go, get out of here, go get all that stuff out of your system, and then come and speak to me. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that it's a good idea for you to go out there and overcorrect and just start living a life of casual sex and casual hookups. That can lead to a lot of problems. What I am saying is that if you genuinely feel that there's something important that you've missed out on, some unfulfilled desire that you need to fulfill, some debt that you need to clear, it is better to actually go and do that. Go. Get it out of your system. It's surely better than lying to yourself and becoming comfortable with inaction. I promise you, at some point, you will get bored of casual sex. You will get bored of low-quality women. At that point, it won't require willpower to settle into a monogamous relationship with a high-quality woman. You won't even want to touch those low-quality women. You won't be interested in casual sex. It will actually disgust you. You will 100% choose monogamy. You will find a high quality woman, someone that you love and somebody who loves you, and the two of you will begin to create a life together. You have cleared your debt from the past, and now you're ready for your new life to begin.